how are you going to work that?
Well, these guys know the situation, and we'll wait till we get there to see what direction we'll have to go. But we certainly know, according to where guys are, what direction we'll go. Some guys, at times, you open up in Minnesota, you have turf. There's going to be a lot of things you to consider. How much do you want a guy on a turf starting the season? As the season moves on, if a guy needs a day with his arm's a little sore, we can give him a day. If their legs are a little sore, give him a day. That's the luxury. The situation we don't want to get into, unless we're forced into it, is where you have one guy that's just a primary DH. That really limits your depth. If all four of these guys are swinging the bats to their capabilities, you're going to want to keep them in there for 150 games as a unit, at least, on the offensive side. If one guy has to go out and play his DH for 30 straight days, and he's got to go out and play the outfield for 2, he's going to be so stiff he might not be able to walk for 2 or 3 days, and that might impact him on the offensive side. So, as we evaluate this, it just makes sense to keep guys in tune with what they're doing, and with the outfield. With obviously, it's obviously, you're probably going to see some guys DHing a little more than they might have in the past, but we're not looking for a full-time DH.
Any of the guys involved, obviously Corey comes out of that equation. Are you afraid of an ego issue, a hurt feeling? Maybe not an ego, that's a bad way to put it, but hurt feeling, that's not me, it's, I don't want to do this.
I don't think there's any player that in that group that wants to DH, but there's also players in there that are going to need to DH. So if you're DHing on a given day, I think if the reason is, hey, you're going to DH because, it's not a situation you're going to DH because we don't have confidence in what you're going to do in the outfield or don't have this to do with that. You're DHing because we want you to get your trips to the plate, we want you to contribute on the offensive end, and that's where the lineup's going to fall in on a given day. I don't think it's, I think I know these guys know that, we've talked to them about what their needs are going to be, what we expect from them. Gary Matthews knows he's got to learn to play the corners as well as understanding to play center field. Every guy's not going to be out there every day in the outfield. They're going to need some days off, and I think that's going to end up being a positive. It's going to help our offense. One thing when you look at numbers, I know you guys that have been here, we've talked about this. These guys have only DH'd when they've been injured. So when Garrett was injured and his legs were sore and he's DHing because we need a little bit of structure in our lineup, he hasn't been able to swing the bat like he can. Same with Vlad. He DH'd with his elbow sore the end of last year because we needed him in the lineup, but he wasn't as effective. So I think those numbers represent players who've only DH'd when they've been hurt. So I think those numbers are a little skewed. I think once these guys take to it and understand that it's a day off, but I'm getting my at bats and I can feel comfortable and just go out there and play baseball on the offensive side, that they're gonna it's gonna be able to flow much smoother.
You're gonna be able to present this plan to them so as not to have a daily discussion about.
There's not going to be. There won't be a daily discussion. I think as we approach the start of spring training, the start of the season, we're going to understand where every player is, and as you get into the season and you're in tune with how they're feeling and what's going on and the need to keep guys out on the outfield, those lineups will take shape, and our guys, the bottom line with them is winning, and I know they're as excited they are to play defense. I think we're going to have a terrific defensive outfield no matter what combination we use. I think they're as excited to look at the offensive end, look at those four guys grouped together, how deep our lineup can get in a hurry.
Where do things stand with Vlad's elbow? Is it bothering him at all?
I'll tell you what, he threw the ball great the other day. We're doing cutoff and relays tomorrow, and he's expected to be in the drill, so there's no limitations.
Nothing limited so far.
No.
How about Gary? Has he been limited?
His knee's feeling better, but as far as throwing and what we're going to need for fundamentals, he's going to be fine.